That fear is getting to you. That fear is getting to you. That fear is getting to you. I told you you're gonna feel some fear, right? Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I tell you you're gonna feel some fear you ain't felt?
Beat up, you know what I mean, you know, close to death, you know what I mean, and I said, listen, this is on the zone, and this is an 18 and over fight right here. You know, kids shouldn't watch this unless they're with their parents and they're explained to it responsibly and appropriately. Other than that, you're looking at a match and you're looking at a man that's being sent in to kill another man. That's what.
The rivalry between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia has heated up once again. What began as a tense press conference for the Times Square event quickly escalated into a near-physical confrontation backstage, prompting security to step in before things spiraled out of control. Now, both fighters are firm in their positions. Haney insists Garcia is mentally weak, while Garcia refuses to back down.
Ryan Garcia, I mean, that fight has question marks. It's unfinished business. You know, we're on a clean playing field, even playing field. We know that I'm going to be victorious. There is no bad blood.
At the press conference, Garcia didn't hesitate to speak his mind when asked about his upcoming fight with Raleigh. Instead of focusing on Raleigh, Garcia turned the conversation to Haney, stating that his main goal was to defeat him again and put to rest any lingering doubts about their first encounter. Raleigh didn't seem overly concerned by this.
He just said he's looking past you to fight Devin Haney. That doesn't concern you at all?
I think Devin should get the fight again.
But he said he's not even worried about you. He's not even thinking about you. He's looking forward to that fight, that you're just going to be a bump in the road.
Garcia even suggested that Haney might be involved in the failed Austrian test. That led to his suspension. Haney, remaining calm, dismissed the accusations and avoided engaging in any talk about the test. However, he made it clear that he had no doubt about Garcia's mental fragility, pointing out that despite Garcia's physical size, his mentality remained weak.
Ryan Garcia's punishment fit the crime? Do you think 1 year was good enough? Are you at peace with that now?
That's not for me to determine right now. You know, my main focus is Jose Ramirez, and then lining it back up with Ryan Garcia. You know, whatever his punishment.
Haney went further, claiming he had seen Garcia falter before and believed it would happen again when they met in the ring. Garcia, however, quickly reminded Haney that he had dropped him 3 times in their last fight, making it clear that he had nothing to prove. The exchange didn't slow down, making it evident that their rivalry was deeply personal.
Brother's your brother in the house? Because your brother knew before everybody else, and you don't answer that question.
My little brother right there.
Okay, so how do you know before everybody else? You know, corruption at its finest. Corruption at its finest. They couldn't take the loss. What's up, man? I know y'all see you. I don't want to touch that. I don't know what you're doing with your hands, buddy. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to look past Broly.
You took your punishment because you knew you was guilty.
Hey, the Austrian don't help you block a left hook, bro. You got hit like 1,000 times.
Okay, so
you got
Backstage, tensions flared even more. When Haney and Garcia crossed paths again, words were exchanged immediately. Neither man backed down, and the argument quickly escalated into a shouting match. Security had to intervene to prevent things from getting physical. Even after being separated, Haney maintained his stance, stating he had no doubts about Garcia's mental struggles, which were apparent during their confrontation. He gets emotional and reckless, Haney remarked, adding that despite Garcia's imposing appearance, his mentality was weak. Haney believes Ryan's confidence won't be enough to defeat him in the ring, as he's determined to get his revenge.
So that's a fight that I think that has to happen sooner or later, and so I'm happy that he wants to make that fight happen. He wants to see that fight, and yeah.
Do you want that rematch with Ryan Garcia? Is that something that's like, man, I gotta get that back?
He was right here. I get it back right now, because it's just, you know, if somebody did you like that, you want to take it, because I did that already. I tried to do it fair. I tried to, you know, it was 3-3 since the amateurs. I tried to give you that, you know, that another fight, and when it was even, we was drug tested, we was on even playing.
Garcia, on the other hand, wasn't going to let Haney's words slide. He shrugged off the claims about his mental weakness and fired back, saying their first fight had already proven who was better. I dropped him 3 times, and I'll do it again, Garcia confidently stated. Both fighters now have tough matches ahead. On May 2nd, Haney defends his title against former unified champion Jose Ramirez, while Garcia faces the hard-hitting Rolando Romero, whom he believes will be easy to beat.
I put Broly to sleep with a left hook. That's it. That's what you're going to see. Period.
Despite their fierce rivalry, neither fighter can afford to overlook their current opponents. Ramirez, a dangerous veteran with plenty of experience at the highest level, is no easy task. While Rawley's unpredictable power poses a serious threat, a loss for either fighter could delay or even derail their much-anticipated rematch, making these upcoming fights critical for both.
Garcia and Devin Haney are officially on for signed rematch?
No. I saw something about that.
Yeah, so basically the idea was they were gonna fight two warm-up opponents, two opponents. Each of them were gonna fight an opponent, and then they were going to and they were fighting, I think, on the same card, and then they were gonna do the rematch. But there was no signed negotiation or anything like that, so it's official.
If both fighters manage to win, the path will be clear for their eagerly awaited rematch in Saudi Arabia later in 2025. Turkish promoter Alshik has already expressed interest in handling the event, and with the controversy surrounding their first fight, it's shaping up to be one of the biggest bouts of the year.
And obviously the boxing world, they just want the Haney rematch so it could be settled once and for all. What is your message? Obviously, you guys are going through the lawsuit right now, but if you and Devin can run it back again, under what terms would it be?
Run it back the same way, just a little higher weight class.
However, Oscar De La Hoya believes that Devin Haney won't be the same fighter after what Ryan Garcia did to him, even though the official record lists the fight as a no contest. The reality is that Haney was knocked down 3 times, and the damage from that fight is something De La Hoya feels will stay with him. Haney returns after a year away from the ring to face Jose Ramirez, but that doesn't erase the memories of his loss to Garcia. With Garcia headlining the same card against Rolando Romero, Haney won't be able to avoid the conversation.
Actually, I see no need for it. Ryan Garcia destroyed him, and that's the bottom line. So I think we have to make the best fights possible. And there's fighters here like Teofimo. There's fighters here that we can match up Ryan with anyone and make a terrific event.
I was gonna ask you.
De La Hoya didn't mince words when discussing Haney's situation, comparing it to his own career. Some losses, he pointed out, stick with the fighter forever, and Haney's loss to Garcia might be one of those. Is he going to react differently? Now, after fighting Garcia, De La Hoya questioned. That's the real concern heading into Haney's fight with Ramirez. If Haney takes clean shots, will he shake them off, or will the ghost of his previous loss start to haunt him?
Devin Haney, who is wanting that rematch against Ryan Garcia. The way Ryan Garcia handled Devin Haney, to me personally, doesn't call for a rematch, but who knows? The back and forth is pretty intense.
What makes this situation even more intriguing is Haney's refusal to accept his loss to Garcia. He continues to claim the fight was tainted, citing Garcia's abuse as the reason for his defeat. "I fought someone who was on PEDs," Haney stated at the press conference, but the truth is, Garcia dropped him 3 times, finding openings and exploiting Haney's defense repeatedly.
Because I know I didn't take steroids, it's not going to be much different. I mean, the crazy thing is they want to keep on saying, oh, it's because of the PEDs, it's because of the PEDs. I was on fighting a guy with PEDs. PEDs don't help you block a...
The scorecards in Garcia's favor were clear, with the judges giving him a decisive win. This view was shared by most fans, even if the no contest ruling tried to erase it from the record books.
Devin Haney.
That wasn't a steroid whooping, bro. That was just a cold blood.
That was bad.
They ever run that back?
For sure they're gonna run it back because
Devin Haney's suing him for assault and battery.
That's wild. I guess the rationale is that if he used PEDs to beat him, then it ruined his reputation. How much damage did that cost to his career? And that's what he's suing for.
Or you could just get it back in blood.
Do you think Devin Haney could knock out Ryan Garcia?
That's why Haney's fight against Ramirez is so critical. If Haney struggles, it will raise questions about whether Garcia took something from him. Ramirez, 32 and no longer in his prime, could land hard shots that make fans wonder if Haney's chin is still reliable. As De La Hoya said, taking a clean shot is one thing, but being dropped multiple times is a different story. You don't recover from that, he stated. It's impossible.
Are you going to be able to test that chin?
Bro, of course I'm gonna test the chin. That's my job, even if it was 31-0 with 31 knockouts, my job is to test his chin.
I don't understand what you mean by chin. I got up every single time against somebody that was on PEDs. So that showed that I had a chin. That showed I had it.
Garcia, meanwhile, isn't hiding from the rematch. He's made it clear that after defeating Rolly Romero, Haney is next. "I'll beat him again. That's why I did it so easily," Garcia said. This confidence is something Haney must contend with, and deep down, he knows Garcia fully believes in his words.
Because, you know, at the end of the day, he cheated. He cheated and he got caught. So, you know, it's very personal. And I won't be happy until that fight is done, the rematch, because it's something there for me.
Garcia's ambitions don't end with Haney, though. He's also eyeing fights with Teofimo Lopez and Jaron Boots Ennis. Lopez is set to defend his WBO super lightweight title against Arnold Barboza on the same card as Garcia and Haney's fight.
Still gonna have fun, but it's not gonna be so sporadic and like posting every second and all that. I mean, I did what I had to do to promote the fight. At the end of the day, you know, you can't judge anybody. At the end of the day, we're all human. If I looked at your dirty laundry, wouldn't it look too nice?
If both Lopez and Garcia win, a showdown between them becomes more likely. Meanwhile, Boots Ennis is handling business at 147, unifying with WBA champion Emmett. This fight will reveal whether Garcia is serious about moving up to welterweight.
Whatever happens, it's looking like I'm gonna fight Teofimo Lopez, so that's good. You know, I've seen him today. He's a little strange, but other than that, he's ready to whoop his.
Speaking of 147, Garcia has also expressed interest in a rematch with Gervonta Davis, but only under one condition. Tank has to move up to 147. Garcia hasn't forgotten their first encounter, where he felt the rehydration clause played a significant role in the outcome. He's making it clear that there won't be any weight manipulations this time.
Everybody knows the obvious of what I'm talking about. You know, you can't even do an interview. Can you do an interview dehydrated? Nah. Imagine boxing. Yeah. That'd be another. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like just level playing field. Just if you beat me, you beat me. You know, it is what it is. I took that fight because, again, I was trying to change the system of boxing. As you see, Showtime's out. But if they had came to me earlier or other people, they would let me, you know, run it how I know this new generation needs to be run. It's a whole different system.
I know I can do better, and I know I can beat him, Garcia stated. This is boxing, bro. This is what we have to do. Look at Roberto Duran, he moved up 8-9 weight classes. Garcia isn't wrong. Fighters have moved up before and made history. But the question is, would Davis be willing to do the same? He spent most of his career between 130 and 135 pounds, and while he's talked about moving up, he hasn't made any concrete moves. Garcia doesn't seem overly concerned with Davis' decision, as his focus is currently on Raleigh and then Haney. He views Haney as unfinished business, and if he wins again, it will be hard for anyone to doubt him. This puts all the pressure on Haney for his fight against Ramirez. He needs to look dominant and prove that he's still the same fighter who defeated Lomachenko and dominated Kambosos. If not, Garcia will be waiting to remind him of their last encounter.
Similar that because Ryan knew Devin so well, he knew how to fight him. Is that like the mirror with this fight, that you know Ryan so well that you know what to throw at him?
There's no fear with Devin. Devin don't have no power.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, you want to come in all that extra weight, overweight. So, I mean, that makes a big difference. You know, there's still a lot of controversy going on with that fight. Aside from that, Devin was winning damn near every round that he didn't get dropped. Even the rounds he got dropped, he was winning the rounds he just got dropped.
Rolando Romero doesn't think Ryan Garcia will head into the Haney rematch with a win. He made this clear with his relaxed demeanor at the press conference. When asked about his past fights with Garcia, he took his time before casually responding, "Of course."
Was it Ryan or was it Rolly? Because they both. I ain't gonna lie, Rolly hit hard. They people be sleeping on Rolly because he been obviously. I don't know how to say it. Obviously. But yeah, if he don't got no chin down, so Rolly be getting caught. But Rolly can't hit, bro. Like, he can hit. And he's the only person I felt like when he swung. It felt like bricks was on good.
Romero doesn't just think he can beat Garcia, he believes he already has. He recalls landing punches on Garcia during their amateur bouts, and in his mind, it's not a question of if he can hurt him again, but when. Garcia may have the bigger name, but Romero's power has been acknowledged by Gervonta Davis, who recently mentioned that Romero's punch felt like a bag of bricks. Romero wasn't surprised by this and responded confidently, saying, "I don't think anyone's doubting that."
And then you got the best left in the world. I'm gonna stop.
Garcia laughed off much of what Romero said, even mocking him for holding a mini sock puppet. But Romero didn't seem bothered by it. Instead, he appeared to enjoy it. Training nonstop with Ismael Salas, Romero is in peak shape and knows what's on the line for May 2nd. He's not just looking to face Garcia, he wants to regain his world title. And Garcia is simply another obstacle in his way. However, with Garcia's intense training, Romero might want to be more cautious.
He's basically just wants to be a model. What did you mean by that?
Well, he didn't make weight for his last 4 title fights, so, and he didn't even try to make weight with Tank, so, yeah, he's not chasing a belt. But we'll see.
Romero's confidence isn't solely based on his power. He doesn't think Garcia is serious about boxing. Earlier that day, he told a reporter that Garcia seems more focused on being a model than a champion. Garcia's history, including his failure to make weight against Haney and his lackluster performance against Davis, only fuels Romero's skepticism.
Everybody said you're off the couch with Ryan Garcia. You're blowing your opportunity. You only have 6 hours left. You said you was working. We are too. Let's see how bad you want it.
This is why Romero isn't buying into the idea that Garcia will simply steamroll him to set up a Haney rematch. In Romero's eyes, Garcia isn't guaranteed anything. If Garcia doesn't take this fight seriously, Romero is more than ready to make sure Haney never gets that second fight.
It was all a publicity stunt. The weight, the craziness. Good fighter. We want to rematch him again. We want to rematch.
Bill, how might you have handled things differently in the build-up to this fight, knowing what we now know?
And we know that he was a good fighter. I always said that, right? I never said that he was. I said he's a good fighter, and that's what it is. We want a rematch. You know, he got hit with a shot early, and I don't think that he naturally kind of recovered from it. It didn't swing our way. But listen, that's things that happen. He's a champion. He showed heart. He showed.
Devin Haney hasn't held back in addressing his controversial first fight with Ryan Garcia. He's been waiting for the rematch, but instead of getting it in May, he'll face Jose Ramirez in an interim fight to secure a bout with Garcia in October. For Haney, this isn't about revenge, it's about setting the record straight. He refuses to acknowledge Garcia's win because he believes the fight was tainted. "I fought someone who was on PEDs," Haney said at the press conference. But we move forward. Bill Haney, Devin's father and manager, was even more direct, claiming that he had to force Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya's hand to make the rematch happen. He also insisted on strict drug testing to ensure a clean fight this time round.
Hey, Bill Haney, happy Halloween. Love you so much. I got something to really scare you. Oh.
Haney's decision to move up to 147 pounds is part of his larger plan, with the Ramirez fight serving as a statement. According to Bill Haney, the move to 140 was just a pit stop, and when Devin eventually goes up to 147, people will see a stronger, faster, more determined fighter.
I still think Devin Haney can beat Ryan Garcia.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Don't fight that type of style. Don't stand right in front of him.
Yeah.
Do your Devin Haney, and get out of there.
And that's what you do with rematches. You find everything you did wrong. You know it instantly after the fight's over. You come back and you right those wrongs. I do believe that it's a rematch that he will win. I think we talked about this time and time again. I think it's a rematch that both guys really need to have.
Despite the controversy surrounding their first encounter, Garcia isn't lacking in confidence. He's been training with Canelo Alvarez's former coach, Eddie Reynoso, and claims that Canelo himself believes the rematch will be easy for him. Haney, however, remains unmoved by these words, focusing solely on proving everyone wrong. The tension at the press conference was palpable. While Haney spoke, Garcia received all the cheers, and Haney was met with boos, but that didn't bother him. He embraced his role as the villain, understanding that in boxing, being disliked can work to your advantage. As long as they're talking about you, it's all good. Andrew Tate told Haney backstage. Haney seemed to agree.
Andrew, real quick, so your prediction for Rollies versus Ryan, how do you see that fight going down?
Bro, I don't want to disrespect anyone. I want to wish everybody the absolute best. I hope everybody gets in there, has a great time, leaves happy, healthy, a little bit richer.
Right.
But Ryan's quick, man. I'll just tell you something. Like, I remember from my fight days, I'm a bit old now, but I'm scared of the guy whose hands you can't see. Those are the ones to be afraid of.
Because they're all good fighters, but Ryan's clearly your favorite.
They're all fantastic fighters. Ryan and I are good friends, you know, so we have a personal relationship there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
Although October might seem far away for Haney, it's just another step toward proving his greatness. He's focused on his fight with Ramirez, staying sharp, and ensuring there's no rust when Garcia is ready for their next battle. When that day comes, Haney intends to make sure there's no doubt about who the better fighter is.
What was involved, but I truly believe that Devin Haney beats Ryan Garcia in the rematch. I truly think that Devin is the better boxer. I think that Devin, when focused, firing on all cylinders, is just a better boxer than Ryan Garcia.